Hey my thrifty friends, what is up? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a get shit done video. I like doing these. I feel like it's a good way for us to chat in like an informal, casual, relaxed manner, but also discuss things that are going on in the reselling world. There's just so much happening right now. I do have a couple topics for today. We're going to touch back on To Poshmark, how everyone's doing, how their closets are doing. It's been another week since the last video. We're also going to touch on Nike's new policy on resellers. And I wanted to talk about blocking people on social media and Poshmark, because there was a comment on the last video and I was like, no, I think this needs to be discussed. Okay, so first off, let's just start with Poshmark. So they announced they're rolling back those changes. We all know about it. If you didn't watch the last video, I'm going to pop it up here. We talk about, you know, the Poshmark changes, what we think, things like that. Yeah, it's been another week. My sales in September were okay. I think it was about 5,000 gross on Poshmark, which is like average, I think, for my closet, but maybe even like a little bit below average. But as far as like, since they made these changes, that was a really good month since they made the changes back in like April or whatever. So yeah, they're supposed to be rolling them back. They're happening in phases. Obviously, not all of this is going to happen at once. I don't think my closet has been rolled back. I know some people are like, sales are crazy. It's back to how it used to be. I'm not one of those people. It's so weird. Like, I'll have a good sales, you know, couple days, and then it's like dead. They're still doing that on and off with closets and A/B testing and putting people in groups. I know they are. And my closet is still in it. So I'm very disappointed, but I'm also using this time just to up my listings and put as much onto my closet as possible. The thing that ticks me off about this though, is that when my closet is off and I put all these new listings in, oh, here's Karen. Have you guys ever met Karen? I don't know if you have. This is Karen. Karen was found on a construction site. Look at her little face. She's like, Mom, stop it. She was found on a construction site and at my husband's work, and my daughter was working for my husband, and she like begged for us to keep this cat, and it had like frostbitten ears and she has a broken tooth, and she was like feral. When we got her, she was vicious. It took like a year for her to finally just be nice to us, like to the point where I can like pick her up and show you. And if I tried to touch her when we first got her for like the first probably 6 months, she would bite. Like, she bit all of us. She was so mean. Oh my gosh. My girlfriend, who's a vet tech, she was like, you guys have to be patient. Don't give up on her. She'll come around. And she did. It just took her a long time. Okay, back to Poshmark. Okay, so yeah, I'm concerned that when I list all these fresh items and my closet is in off or whatever, just not performing, what happens when like in 3 days when they turn it back on? Do these still show up as new? Or are they like now starting to get pushed down? You know what I mean? Like, these are the things I think about and what bugs me. But I am ready for enough of this messing around. And this weekend, I am cross-listing as many items as I can over to eBay, and I am going to try and make eBay viable. I know it comes with its own issues, the same as Poshmark, but different. And I think I'm willing to deal with that. I cannot ride this roller coaster, and I feel like I can't put in all this effort for not the return that I want. We'll put it that way. So I'm looking for more consistency, and if Posh isn't going to give me that consistency, I really have to start looking towards other platforms. I wish we had Mercari. I hear a lot about Mercari down in the States, and so many people like just rave about it. We do not have it in Canada. We actually don't have a lot of options. We have eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Depop, Vestair. I think we have Grailed access. I'm pretty sure we do. There's another one. I can't remember what it's called. If there's anything I'm missing, drop down in the comments. But I just feel like None of the other platforms have the buyer base that like Poshmark and eBay do. I guess Etsy does for like vintage or handmade. Depop is actually quite a small market. I'm sure I could start listing over there, but I don't like how it's so needy, how you have to like bump your items every day. That's just another Poshmark. So I don't think I can manage 2 platforms that are like Poshmark. I can only do one. And Whatnot. And I've been doing Whatnot. I did have to postpone my sale this week. I was planning on doing a sale. I just didn't have enough items. So I source specifically. I do have some items that I'm going to pull from my Posh closet, but I try and source specifically for the Whatnot sales, and I just wasn't able to get enough items to make it worth having a sale for people to have, like, you know, variation of sizes, brands, enough for people to make good bundles and stuff like that. So I put it off till next week, and I'm hoping to build up that inventory to have a good sale on it. But yeah, I don't know, Poshmark, I'm just at a loss of words. I'm frustrated. I'm done. I'm like so over talking about it as well, but we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what's going on in our businesses, and I'd like to hear if anything has changed in the last week for you, or are you riding the same wave that I am? Okay, let's move on from Poshmark. Next, I wanted to talk about Nike's new policy change. So I'm sure you've heard about this. Everyone has heard about it now. It is lighting fire in the reseller community, and Nike just changed their policies. I'm actually going to read an excerpt. This was from, let me find it. This was from Yahoo News. All right. Nike introduces new resale policies to level playing field within the sneaker market. Sneakerheads all over will be pleased to learn that Nike is officially cracking down on the predatory sneaker resale market. Predatory, oh my gosh. This news was first spotted on the Wall Street Journal. The apparel giant will specifically begin bringing down more extreme penalties on those suspected of being resellers, and these include quantity limits, restocking fees, and even being straight up banned. Nike is also reserving the right to cancel any orders that are placed by bots, further harshening its crackdown on people who try to gobble up the kicks and resell them for a sharp profit. I didn't realize how much, like, how crazy that market was. And it wasn't until my daughter bought a pair of, I think they're Dunks. I think they're Nike Dunks, and they were the North Carolina ones. They're white and baby blue. And she bought them off StockX like two and a half years ago. And she paid, I swear she paid over $300 for these shoes. And I was like, oh my gosh, Karen's playing with the thing. I gotta let her out. Hold on. So she had bought these runners, and I asked her like how much she paid. She told me, and I was like, oh my God. She's like, Mom, these are so hard to get, these runners. They're like coveted, whatever. And I was like, well, how much do they normally sell for? And she was like, I don't know. I swear she said it were like $120 or something. Like, they actually don't retail for that much, but it's so hard to get them. She said that most people just go on StockX and pay, you know, double or triple the price to get them. I was like, that's so crazy. But I think it also creates hype around them. Like, as much as Nike's trying to stop this bot selling, I think this also makes their brand worth more. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so hard to get, they gain value. Where if it becomes easier and everyone can get a pair of them, they're not as coveted. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes brands so desirable sometimes. When it's hard to get a pair, it makes it more valuable. And we know that as resellers, because when we're going to sell something and we look up comps and we notice that there's nothing in a size large, sometimes you can actually price them up because you own the only pair of large in this style and this brand or whatever, right? Yeah, that was my first experience with brand new sneakers being marked up. I do think that there is definitely some big profits. I also read that Nike was upset because resellers are making more money off of their shoes than they are. And I laughed at that because I could see that. Apparently there was like a Louis Vuitton collab that sold, I think, for like 2,500 USD. Don't quote me. It was like somewhere around there. And they sold out, and they were being resold for $9,500. That's so crazy. That's crazy. Like, if you got 2 pairs of those, you made some coin. Yeah, so they're just trying to stop that. My understanding also is that they're not attacking like used goods. Right now, this is being focused on new stuff, and it doesn't look like actual legal action is being taken. I could be wrong, but to me, it looks like they're just limiting purchases. Sounds like they have the right to cancel large orders and then also charge people restocking fees on those cancellations, I think, and then also on returns. So if people mass buy, so say they buy 10 pairs, they try and resell them, they don't resell, you know, whether in a couple weeks, and they want to just get their money back to put into like the next release, they will be charged a restocking fee to return those. Again, this is my understanding. There's a lot of different sources of information out there right now. But yeah, the bottom line, I think how this affects my business and maybe most of yours is that they are not cracking down on used goods. I have heard though that some brands want to make it like against the law, I guess, to like resell their brands, that you're not allowed to like resell their used goods. I don't know, like I've heard some rumors about stuff, and it's so hard because online it's like any information can be put out, doesn't have to be factual. But yeah, I do think we might see other companies doing this. And even though I don't do the sneaker business or the brand new sneaker business, I do retail arbitrage on other items. Now, I'm not usually buying items that are like, you know, highly sought after. A lot of times I'm doing like sale shopping, which I think these companies are happy to get rid of. If you buy a large quantity, they're like, yes, take this all. We can't get rid of it, you know, at 50% off, whatever. But I don't know, like, do you think other companies are going to start doing this? It really got me thinking. And then I was also in discussions with someone on Instagram, and she said that certain states are starting to talk about bylaws with reselling. Now, I don't have any information on this. There's nothing going on in Canada about reselling that I know of. So if something else is happening in your state, please let us know, drop in the comments. I'd love to hear what type of news is developing and what was meant by those comments, because I'm not sure. Yeah. I do know lots of big retailers have jumped onto resale, and they are now selling used clothing. Like, for example, Levi's has their own used clothing area. Lululemon is doing it. Patagonia is doing a buyback program. Like, lots of companies also are starting to do buyback programs. And I haven't tried to bring anything in as a reseller. Has anyone done this? Has anyone sourced like a Patagonia item and sent it back to Patagonia to get a credit, or vice versa, grabbed like a Lululemon item and brought it or sold it back to Lulu? The payouts from Lulu didn't seem that great, I guess, for sourcing in my local stores. But maybe if you were going to the bins and you were finding 10 items, you know, at, we'll say $1 a piece, and they're buying them back for 15, it could be worth it. But I also feel like you could just go to a buy sell trade store as well and do that. And I think the Lulu one, it's only good for credit, where if you take it to a buy sell trade, you're getting cash for that. Yeah, I don't know. Strange times, lots going on, lots of changes. Of course, drop in the comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this Nike policy change? How do you think it's going to affect us resellers? Not necessarily like bot sellers or people that are buying mass quantities of Nike, but just in general. And then I also wanted to touch on blocking. So I feel like this is kind of controversial because people sit on so many different spectrums of blocking, and there's lots of people that are like, I never block, I don't really care, whether it's like social media or Poshmark. And I sit on the opposite side. I do block people. I need to like throw this out there. And I had a comment on a recent YouTube video where someone was like, I don't know why you blocked me. And and you're also passive aggressive. And I was like, okay, number one, you leaving that comment is probably exactly why you were blocked. Let's just start right there, because you've probably made other comments similar to that just didn't sit well with me. And I protect my vibe. I do not do bad energy. I don't do bad energy comments. I mean, there's one thing to vent or to talk about something that you feel passionate about or to share your opinion. And then there's like bad vibe. And if you know, you know what I mean. It's that bad vibe person. And if I'm, especially in social media, if I get a bad vibe from someone, or they've left a comment on one of my posts that really seemed like underhanded, you know, when someone says something, but you know that they mean something else, or there's like an undertone to it, I usually block them, because I just am not dealing with that. And I don't like repetitive stuff of that, because it really kind of affects you. It affects me at least. So yeah, I protect my vibe in that sense. Also, I feel like with the pandemic, there was a lot of really strong opinions put out into the social media world. And I go on social media for fun. I go on it for like an escape, to check out new stuff, look at trends, watch funny reels. Like, it's an enjoyment part of my life. If I go on there and it's just like political, religion, like, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, I probably will unfollow you. And if it's like goes against my values and morals, like that line in the sand that I draw, I might even block you, just because I don't feel like we're at all the same people. And again, it's that vibe thing. I just don't go for it. I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions on things and have our own perspectives in life, but there's like a difference between you and I having difference of opinions and you trying to shove down your opinion down my throat all the time on social media. And that part I just don't do. So yeah, those are like the two reasons. Either you didn't pass the vibe check and you've probably like really stepped on the other side of that line in the sand I have, or you've left like a comment that it just doesn't sit right with me. Now, Poshmark is like a whole nother beast. And I know, again, there's people that are like, I don't block anyone. Activity is activity, and lowballs, who cares? But I have a couple reasons why I block people on Poshmark. And one of them is like an accidental thing. It's not intentional to anyone. And actually, like, any of my blocking is not like a personal attack on someone. It's just really protecting myself. But for Poshmark, number one, if you spam my closet with shares, like, and I'm talking like you share my whole closet of 450 items, I'm probably going to block you for a short period of time just to stop that, because I rely on my news feed to catch comments, likes, offers, all sorts of things. I don't click on all the tabs at the top of the bar. I rely on that news feed. So when someone spams it and it's just like dinging up my phone, I also have notifications turned on my phone, so I find it really disruptive, especially if I'm at work and it's like ding, 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 ding. Because generally, I mean, you get shares and follows and likes and everything throughout the day. But when someone spams your closet and you get like 400 notifications in 3 minutes, it's annoying. So a lot of times I'll just put them on block. I'll block them for a couple minutes, and then I'll try and remember to go back on and unblock them later. Sometimes I forget. And if you're that person and you find that you're blocked from my closet, I apologize. It's probably just that at some point you're bought or you spam my closet. The other couple reasons, and you may not agree with me, but I would love to know what your policy is on this. When someone asks a million questions and you can, like, you know, when you can feel that it's going to be a case, like you just know that this person is going to be a case. They're going to open a case when they receive it. And if you have not received these situations yet, I'm going to say you probably haven't been reselling long enough, because 80%, like 8 out of 10 of the cases I get against, 8 out of the 10 cases that I get in my closet start with conversations that make me feel like this isn't going to end well. Do you know, it's like the way the comments are asked, it's their responses, it's just the whole interaction. You're like, and then most of the time I'm like, I just want to make the sale, right? I used to, I don't do this anymore, but I used to, and I'd be like, I just want to make the sale. And you cross your fingers and you hope for the best. They get the bundle, it turns into a case, and you're like, of course, of course. So now I kind of have a spidey sense, and I have people actually someone just messaged me last week. I cannot remember who. I know you watched the channel. I am so sorry, I can't remember your name, but someone messaged me with an instance and they were like, this is what's going on. They're asking me these questions, blah, blah, blah. They sent me this offer. There was like a whole thing and they were like, what should I do? I said, number one, block them. Run away, run far away. This sale isn't worth it because chances are, I'm telling you, just by the screenshots, that they're probably going to open a case. And I know it's like throwing away a sale, but it's my mental health. It's like having to dispute a stupid case. Like yeah. So there is a difference. I can usually tell when questions are justified and they're not, like you can tell, but I'm telling you, most of the times when I get weird interactions, they end up in a case, and that's over 3,000 items sold. The other instance is lowball offers. And it's not like you send me a lowball offer and I just block you off the bat. Okay, like that's ridiculous. But if I have an item listed for $75 and you send me an offer for $10, I'm going to counter back and politely be like, well, my bottom dollar is $50. I would do $50. If you counter back at me with $11 and I reply and say, well, no, 50 is my lowest, and then you counter back at 12, I'm going to block you. I just don't like that waste of energy. And I think for some people, it's like a game. They're like, ooh, I'm going to banter back and forth, and they're being petty, and then you start being petty, and then you get into this like emotional vortex of like annoyed, frustration. Like, how many of us get frustrated with lowball offers? So to prevent my feelings and emotions escalating to that point, I just block them. Actually, I just blocked someone today. So she put together a bundle with 3 items that were all valued over, like, retail value, probably like $100 to $150 an item. She put all 3 together. I think the bundle price was for $285 without discount. And then she would have got 25% discount. She sends me an offer for like $85 or something. It's ridiculous. Like, ridiculous. Like, I'm talking 2 pairs of like Aritzia pants, like very current Aritzia pants, and a nice pair of Levi's jeans. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So I sent her a reasonable offer back, and I think it was like $150 or something. And that was it was probably $180. I think it was like giving her still a substantial discount. The next day she asks me a question about another item. I reply, and she changes the bundle around, but still adds 3 items that again are all valued, that I have listed for over $100. The jeans, not $100, but the other items, or listed like around $100, retail value over $100. And she sends me an offer for like $100. And I'm like, girl, $180. Like, you're still selecting high value items. She sends me an offer for $115. So this is now the second bundle time I've dealt with her. Plus she's like really lowballing, not willing to budge. I blocked her. I was like, I am not doing this with you again. Because I feel like she's that person that's going to wait a couple days, switch around her bundle, hope that I don't notice, that she put 3 items in there, and send me a low offer. And I'm just like, I'm done. This whole like pony in a circle, it ain't happening with me. So I blocked her. And I don't know if this is like something that other people do, but this is very much how I handle situations. This is an example on Poshmark where I'm like, this isn't worth my mental health. You know what I mean? I think blocking is the only way we have to protect ourselves and our mental health, right? And our mental health is really important, because without being, if you're always living on this roller coaster of emotions, and, reselling is stressful and it upsets you and it makes you angry and annoyed, you're not really running it like a business. So yeah, I think there's times where I say you have to remove the emotion, but there's also times where I just take the emotion out of it by not dealing with that person. And I think the world is plentiful. I think there are millions of buyers that I don't stress over a couple bad apples, or we'll call them a couple little annoying apples. Oh man, yeah. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts on blocking. what do you block on social media? Also, do you block on Poshmark? And what criteria do you use for it? Like, give me some instances, because am I just being crazy? I don't know, but I feel like it really does a good job at just kind of keeping my sanity while reselling and, you know, being a part of such a large community. I mean, there's so many different personalities, and I am a firm believer that we all have our tribe of people and that your vibe attracts your tribe. But part of that is also being able to choose my tribe, right? And not letting people that I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't even know how to articulate it, but just being really selective in who I let into my world. You can have a ton of followers and subscribers and still be selective. One of the other things that I do, and I forgot to mention this for social media, when people follow me, first of all, if it's a man and I click on his profile, and you know what kind of men this looks like, but you can tell he's just following all women and it's like creepy, I block them. I don't even delete them. I fucking block them so quick. That scares me. And I have kids, like I just am not trying to have that around my business. And then also people that follow me that don't have a profile picture. If I click on them and it's like, it's a request, you have to request to follow, there's no profile picture, and they have, you know, very few followers, a lot of times I'll block them just because I don't know who they are. And I know it's like very easy for someone to put a fake profile picture, and like, good on you if you do that and you trick me, woo. But it's just another way that I filter some people out of my Instagram as well. If there's no way, like, yeah, if there's no information about them, I don't know, it just seems really creepy to me. So yeah, I will block them. But yeah, that was the only thing I forgot to add. And like, how do you guys filter your Instagram? It's really hard because I think my profile is set onto like a public profile, like kind of, I hate saying this, like as an influencer, but how do you know, protect yourself and your community and your page without going where people have to request to follow you, like going straight to a private account? Because that's also a tough one to do. But yeah, I don't know. I think I have security on mine, and I do restrict people. So if I don't do it as often, but sometimes people would just give me really weird vibes, or they would, yeah, just give me weird vibes, I would restrict them. Or if they're always saying like kind of negative things on my posts, I would restrict them as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to hear how you guys protect yourself on social media, because it's something that we all deal with. I got most of my inventory sorted. I'm going to put it away. We are at, oh my God, we are at 29 minutes. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And not any like crazy topics, but I think they're very relatable to all of us. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you got some work done during this video. If this helps you in your reselling business or you're enjoying these, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I should be making more of these because I enjoy them. I hope you guys do. If you're not subscribed, because I know there's a ton of you guys that are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That way you get all the content. It also kind of helps boost my videos into the algorithm, and I'd really appreciate that too. I am wishing you all many sales. I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.